This is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is May 24th, 2024, and this is my weekly market review, where I'm reviewing the S&P 500, that's SPY, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading. So please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over here to these charts and see what we see. And all on the SPY. The SPY did make a new high this week, but it is forming a doji on the weekly. So it might be following the Dow. Just be mindful of it. But let's zoom on down here into these charts and see what we see on the quarterly chart. The quarterly chart is forming a hammer at the top. It's still below an R2 level, and we still got that hammer there. We're still above the R1, and also we're still pretty good. We're still looking pretty bullish, but it's going to be another couple of months before we can actually see what's going to be actually happening here on this chart. So let's go down to the monthly chart and see what we see there. On the monthly chart, we are still having this bullish look like engulfing. We did make a new high this week. You'll see this on the weekly chart. We're still above the 10 moving average. We're getting a little bit extended, but it's not moving too fast and all. And we still haven't reached that R1 level which is about $10 higher from where we're at right now. Okay, but let's go ahead and go down to the weekly chart and see what we see there. On the weekly chart, this is where we're seeing you start beginning to seeing what's really happening here in this market. We did make a new high this week. We are really quite extended off of the 50. This is the 50 and the 200. I have on this chart. All you seeing is the 50 there, and all quite a bit extended. We are forming a doji at a top. We need to see what's going to happen, come next week. And it's still earnings season. We do have some earnings, announcements and a lot of retail stuff. It's actually next week. It looks like it's probably more retail than anything else. And got Costco and some other retail companies coming out. And doji doesn't mean anything. We might get a little bit of pullback, but this thing can keep going up after that. We just got to kind of like wait and see, what actually happens there. Let's go down to the daily chart and wrap this on up. On the daily chart, let's zoom in a little bit here. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. You can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It went pretty much sideways. It ended up really dropping down a little bit this week. That's why we ended up. That's why you end up with the doji on the weekly chart. We had this big crazy day that I know NVIDIA earnings was that day. Did it cause all this? NVIDIA really didn't drop that much. Must have been something else that actually caused this big drop in the market. Again, I'm not one who follows the news and all the events that are actually going on. I can see it happening, on the charts before it actually, in my opinion, I think I see it before it happens. We had a bearish, pattern right here. So you would have been expecting it to drop anyway. Although you did end up with this new high on that day, then it did end up closing down here. You would almost call that, normally you would call that a follow through on this bearish pattern, but then here this day you ended up with another inside. You ended up with an inside day since this previous day was so large. So now what the thing is it going to break this low or is it going to break this high on the next week? So that's what we'll be looking out for. I kind of expect that, again, we're going to be opening above pivot. I do kind of expect us, and then since we like going to an R1, although we didn't quite reach an R1 this week on these weekly pivots, So the thing is, if we start seeing these lower highs and start seeing some lower lows, look out below. This market can actually drop down a little bit. I still don't think it's going to drop below, maybe this 520 level, below this support 2 level come next week if we do get a drop in the market. And that's it. That's pretty much all I want to share. This is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Hope you guys had a great week. Hope you guys have a great weekend, this Memorial weekend, and I'll talk to you next week. Have a great one. Bye.